The next question is also for all of the candidates. On the first round of questions, you were given a soft ending. I gave everybody a few extra seconds. For the rest of the night, if you were going to go over, I'm going to say time to keep this event moving forward. This question is 90 seconds per candidate. It is, what issues do you perceive are the most important for the city of Smithville or Smithville ISD's near future? Mr. Bunny, 90 seconds.
Thank you very much. As in all, I'm going to try to get this quick because 90 seconds is quick. As in all rural communities across the state of Texas, we face the same problems. Lack of housing, basic needs in clothing stores, crime activity, job opportunities, and a stronger tax base. But the beginning seeds have been planted. We broke ground on the 90-home subdivision last week, and sales have already begun. This will alleviate the needs of homes for those employed by Smithville Independent School District, MD Anderson, Seton Healthcare, and those who choose to make Smithville home. The smaller retail will follow the homes. Industrial growth, as we have 2 large employers now looking at Smithville. And the subdivision is guaranteed to us to use local builders, local contractors, and Apple Supply, and also Smith Supply in using their materials. We put this in stone to them, and they felt they could do this. When the visit marketers see our progress, the small retail will follow. And through all of this, our tax base will grow, alleviating pressure on us. All the marketers tell us that we can and will not support retail business because of our demographics. But once this industrial park and housing is put in place, small retail will come. Thank you very much.
Mr. Jones.
I feel our top 3 issues are the deteriorating business climate, city's limited financial resources, and lack of infrastructure development. As mayor, I will address these issues by working closely with the city council and city manager to establish a climate of cooperation between city government and our established businesses that will work to help stabilize existing businesses and to encourage new businesses. Develop a short and long-range term plan for infrastructure improvements to our downtown and neighborhoods through citizens' input and community involvement. Identify methods of increasing revenue for the city and stabilizing the income stream. Thank you.
Mr. Arbor.
So do we all have the same thing going here? The major problems that I see facing the city of Smithville is our aging infrastructure, a lack of economic development, and a little bit of a twist on the mayoral candidates is opportunities for our youth. A lot in Smithville, when you come in, you can see that the streets are damaged. I have visitors that come here for Jamboree or come here for the Parade of Lights and come to visit me and my family and enjoy what Smithville has to offer. And they often ask questions about why our streets are in the condition they are, lack of maintenance on facilities, and it's all related to our tax base, obviously, because the city does have to operate under a budget. One example, when we had a house fire in 2007, there are things that fall through the cracks, and the example of that is the fire hydrant right across the street from our home was non-functional. And once again, there are budget constraints, but I think I want to help the city find where those cracks are and not use a Band-Aid approach to fixing those. We need to make sure what we have is properly repaired and properly taken care of and move forward with that. As far as economic development, I think it's very important. The City Council just completed a survey that says most citizens are in favor of economic development, getting new businesses in. Citizens of Smithville aren't real happy with the high tax rates that we have, and the only way to make a difference in that is to increase our tax base. For opportunities for youth, we want to move forward and not only have sports and activities for them, but by building our economic base.
Ms. Morgan.
The selection of a strong city manager is the most urgent of our near-term issues. The city manager is the chief executive officer of the city and directs the processes of the city in accordance with the budget and policies that are set by the council. He must understand and ensure compliance with state and federal laws that regulate the conduct of city business. We need to move quickly to fill this position, but we need to choose wisely. Next is the completion of a master plan for economic development. Smithville's time has come. Investors and developers are looking our way, and we need to have a plan in place and be clear on how we want the Smithville of 2020 and 2030 to look if we're to shape our future instead of having it spring up randomly around us. Key elements of this plan are attracting and developing the goods and services that the community has indicated that it wants through the plan that was just completed, or the survey just completed. We need jobs and housing. We need to repair our infrastructure, and we need to ensure quality of life for all of our citizens. The third near-term issue is aligning our city budget with thoughtfully defined priorities. In the coming term, I want the council to give more time and attention to the following: bottom-up citizen departmental participation in setting priorities, capital budgeting for infrastructure to reduce the incidence of unplanned replacements and emergency repairs, and legal compliance, ADA, health, and safety. Thank you.
Ms. Rayleigh.
We need a long-term economic growth plan. Growth for growth's sake is not necessarily a good thing. According to the State Comptroller's Office, I took it off today, the website, Smithville's $7.1 million in debt. That's $2,000 for every man, woman, and child in Smithville. According to our most recent budget, $387,260 will be paid toward the city debt this current budget, and most of that payment, 33%, is for interest alone. The actual debt reduction for the city of Smithville will be $260,000. This is why it is important to elect those who will be fiscally responsible and not only reduce our debt, but to find ways to cut the city budget without cutting services. We must treat the city budget just like we treat our own at home. Thank you.
Mr. Gordon.
I'm a member of the Economic Development Task Force here, and a study was done recently. And from that study, we can determine the top 3 concerns of this population of Smithville. They were lack of job growth, downtown blight, and insufficient affordable housing. And I think these are the things we need to address, as well as the other items that have been mentioned all along. But this is a survey that's based on a scientific approach, I think, and it was well done, and we should embrace it. So the problem of jobs brought to us by large firms has long been a drumbeat of too many past elections. Almost every election you hear someone talking about bringing large businesses here that are as yet unnamed. On the other hand, I will promote something that's called LOCA vesting, and I don't have time to talk about that here, but you can go to the website, LOCAVESTING. It is a situation where we rely more on ourselves to invest in local businesses that we create and also participate with those businesses. Downtown blight, the problems of many small town main streets, such as deteriorating buildings and facilities, poor business conditions, visual blight, apathetic attitudes, and the absence of aggressive business management practices are real, important, and they must be solved. I will work with local groups that are already in the process of marketing our beautiful town to moderate-sized businesses in addition to the large businesses. And the last thing is insufficient affordable housing. I will work with the city and county to transform vacant lots and uninhabited homes into livable spaces. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. King.
Supporting and recognizing local business is the only type of tax relief we're going to get. I don't know what it's going to take to make that happen, but that's definitely where we need to spend our time trying to figure out some type of business that'll work good so we can at least get some kind of sales tax revenue to take some of that burden off the taxpayers in this town. As far as if that doesn't happen, then it's going to fall on all the homeowners.
Mr. Saunders.
I feel like issues is the wrong word. Let's refer to them as opportunities for advancement. Our advancement opportunities are the same as any city: economic development, infrastructure, and budgeting. Each is intertwined with the other. One underlying factor that is evident from listening to the citizens of Smithville is the desire to progress and advance our city while at the same time maintaining the small town charm that we know and love. When discussing economic development, it is important to understand that economic growth is an aspect of economic development. It does not do our town any good if all the benefits from economic growth are outsourced to the surrounding area. It is important that we keep the fruits of our labor local. In order to do this, however, we need more resources and options locally for our citizens. This was the focus of many projects during my term. While these endeavors are exciting, it is important we support and listen to our existing merchants and explore ways to bring them more business. It is no secret that the infrastructure of our town is aging. While it is the goal of all city workers to be proactive, we have spent much of this year being reactive. A comprehensive evaluation has been completed and goals have been set. Infrastructure not only includes physical, but also organizational structure. The daunting task of selecting a new city manager is underway. The budget cycle is always a cumbersome task, as there is so much we want to do. New budget procedures will be implemented with the new city manager. This will assist in working towards progress in a better, brighter, more prosperous future. Thank you, Morris.
Mr. Campbell.
Now's the time for that pecan. I believe the pecan that you were given really embodies all the issues that Smithville ISD needs to address currently. The first one is performance. Whether we like it or not, the STAR test is the bar. It is what we are judged upon, both our kids and our district. But the STAR test has implications both inside and outside the classroom. Strong schools absolutely impact our community and our economy. So, in that vein, the importance of that, we need to take all of our resources, we need to maximize them and focus them on student performance to get our kids where they need to be and our district where it needs to be. Next is expectations. Currently, all of our campuses on Smithville ISD are rated acceptable by TEA, with one of them being monitored. But TEA expectations go up every single year, and the bar is going up. So, for us, we need to revise our expectations. We need to revise our district goals into quantifiable, qualifiable things so that we can begin to monitor and track that and focus on being an exemplary school. Finally, and I will get to communication later, attracting and retaining the most effective and highly qualified teachers. It may be the most important issue we have, and we cannot be out-recruited by local school districts, which is currently happening. Again, thank you.
Mr. McKay.
From my perspective, the three biggest issues that face the Smithville School District are first and foremost the ever-increasing encroachment on local school districts by the federal and state government. The mandates just keep coming and coming and coming, and no money to fund those mandates. The second issue that I think is the biggest issue that we face in this school district is the demographic of the students that we have. If we were to line 10 kids up on that stage, statistically 6 of them would be economically disadvantaged in our school district. We don't get to choose who walks through the front door. We have to educate them all. And that is a unique situation in the Smithville School District. That is up about 10 percentage points in the last 5 to 8 years. And that's something that we have to deal with every day in this school district. The third thing that I would say is the biggest current issue that's coming up, and that's the state of school finance in the state of Texas. Our school finance system has currently been ruled unconstitutional. It went back to the courts, and the judgment is due out any day now, and more than likely it will be ruled unconstitutional again. Our legislature next year will give us a new funding system. What that means to Smithville schools, how much money we have to spend to solve all these federal and state mandates, is anybody's guess. That's what I think are the biggest issues.
Thank you. Ms. Rutherford.
I think Tay and I have got the same platform. Improving student achievement is absolutely, we have to do that. And attracting and retaining good teachers. We can't have achievement unless we have good teachers. And we also need to improve how we get our families and our communities involved. When we have those three things in place, that's how we're going to get achievement. Student achievement depends on several factors, like I said, great teachers, active and engaged students and families, and supportive communities. We have had some high teacher turnover rates lately, and that's hurting our kids. We need excellent and motivated teachers who want to stay and want to make this the district they want to teach in. One of the things that school board members can do is to support teachers. And what I mean by supporting teachers is we need to have teachers have a voice in how they want to run their classrooms. We're responsible as board members to set the vision and the goals of our community and of our school district. We have to supply the teachers with the resources and the tools they need so that they can be effective in their own classrooms. When communities and families support our schools and our teachers, we all win. We have a lot of nonprofit groups, civic groups, who all want to be part of improving our schools. We have a lot of resources that we need to tap into here in town that won't cost our school district anything.
Time. Mr. Gutierrez.
I get the luxury of being on the end, so I can steal from everybody else, right? Now, I think you've heard a consistent theme tonight. It's about resources, and how do we get the resources that we need for our community and for our schools. When it comes to the school district, resources for our students is paramount. It's the first thing that we always got to pay attention to. And ensuring that they have a school and a quality learning environment where they want to be there and they feel safe at school. I think that's really, really important, and that they feel engaged and challenged. And with the mandated testing and with the finance issues that are going on, that just becomes even more difficult. We have to be creative about how we can do that. But the resource that is most important in our kids' education is the teachers. And you've heard all three candidates talk about that. When we look at teachers, we gotta keep the good ones. We need those teachers to stay in the field. Not only do we want to keep them in Smithville, we also need them to feel like this is a field that they want to be in. Compensation's too low. The people that are taking care of our kids don't get paid enough. And they're not just caretakers. They're the ones that are going to influence them for the rest of their lives. So I just think it's really, really important that we tackle that and we make sure that we're paying adequately so that they're encouraged to stay.
Thank you.